build upon these topics and to dig deeper into this idea of the interconnection of water and land resources, we had the opportunity to visit Hanauma Bay for this week's episode and speak with employees of the state's Division of Aquatic Resources about the Holomua 30 by 30 initiative and the state's coral restoration projects. Let's go take a look. Here today with great staff from the Division of Aquatic Resources to talk about the Hawaii 30 by 30 initiative.
Aloha, my name is Katie Ching. I'm the 30 by 30 planning associate for the Division of Aquatic Resources.
We realized that we have to work with all these different players and all these different partners throughout the watershed and even within the ocean itself, because our kuleana is only this big, but we see the problem is this big. So we need to really widen our net and look beyond just what we traditionally have done in the past to address how big the problems are that we're facing in the ocean.
What human-based sources are affecting these populations and the health of our reefs.
My name is Amy Markel, and I'll add on a little bit more to what we're doing for restoration and those partnerships you were talking about. So coming on to our statewide planning and thinking about how we include the community in all this, one of the questions that comes up is, well, what about water quality? What about land-based sources of pollution?
Holomua means to move forward and to progress, and this is really what we hope to do with the people of Hawaii, and we want them to be involved. We would love to talk story and hear more about what different people would like to do for their resources and being out there, and that's a perspective that we as the state don't always have,
Thank you for having us. This is wonderful, and I wish you the best success in the 30 by 30 initiative.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Mahalo.
I'm Christina Jane. I'm a coral specialist with the Hawaii Coral Restoration Nursery, which is under the Division of Aquatic Resources. We're at Hanauma Bay. It's a marine life conservation district. So we have our first pilot project from the Hawaii Coral Restoration Nursery, which is working on restoring Hanauma Bay. And our first pilot project is to just have some coral outplants, so coral that we've grown at our nursery. And just a test. We have 2 test sites here just to see how the coral does. The coral was outplanted there before visitors were welcomed back to the bay, and it just continues to be there. So we want to see in these 2 habitat types that the coral is in, how they're doing with the water quality as well as when visitors have returned to the bay.
Hi, my name is Norton Chan. I work for the Hawaii Coral Restoration Nursery for the Division of Aquatic Resources. A timeline for our project here is that we outplanted 5 coral modules sometime in October of last year, and we've been checking up on the corals on a monthly basis, and the corals actually are looking pretty good now. They've actually grown to their environment. They actually are more robust, so at some point in the future you'll be able to swim right over them and not even realize that these were planted here. You would think that they were naturally occurring corals.
We do have other plans for the Hanauma Bay. We actually have several other projects that we'd like to do here. We do want to outplant more corals currently, like Christina said, we do have a pilot project just to see if the corals survive. We do want to outplant larger corals in deeper water, different types of coral, larger corals. So right now, we are working with 20 centimeter coral modules as a test, but we'd like to upscale that to 40 and even 1 meter size modules. So that coral actually is a larger coral and has a better survivability and hopefully would help restore the bay.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me here at Hanauma Bay. Can you tell me a little bit about the Division of Aquatic Resources?
Yeah, the Division of Aquatic Resources is, like its title, is responsible for all aquatic resources, like everything in the ocean, the corals, the fish. But a lot of times people also forget that we also take care of the stream animals and the estuary animals, all this place in between. So we're responsible for all also the limu, the opihi, all that stuff. So that's all our kuleana responsible for all that stuff.
So during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw natural resources kind of get a relief. Is there any takeaway messages you want to leave the public with in terms of what happened during the pandemic and maybe what we have to look forward to?
Yeah, I think so. Like, what people observed was, like more fish near shore and, that kind of stuff. And I just don't want people to misunderstand that. It's not like there was more fish that was created or more, in a short time we got more fish in the ocean. It's more the behavior of the fish. They changed, or they're able to, move into areas or feel comfortable in areas that they didn't feel earlier with all the tourists and stuff like that. So there's more behavior change, but it's good for the fish. It's not, the behavior change is good for the fish because it allows them to, engage and check out different places on the reef and, feed in the different habitats that they want to check out. For example, sometimes sharks, baby sharks like to come in close and they pop and hang in that area, and when people are around, they dig out, so that they're able to, and it's safer for them to be hang out in the shallow. They don't want to be in the deep, that's where they're going to get eaten, you know what I mean? So it allows them to do that kind of stuff. We understand the importance of fish and fishing to the people of Hawaii, but we also understand that it's important to conserve. So this is the place we're at. We're trying to work out the balance, and we feel like, managing natural resources, in a sense, yeah, you're managing the natural resources, but a big part of it is managing the actions that people do, the fishing, the taking, the stomping on the quarries, whatever. So we gotta incorporate people to be successful.
Yeah. It was wonderful to be able to get out of the office for a bit and visit one of our state's beautiful natural resources. But it was even better to hear about all the ways Dlnr is taking care of this location and their plans for the future of natural sites like this one.